guys.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm in Kenya last year for half a year, and I feel a little bit home every time I'm there, so it's good.
It's a beautiful country.
Yeah.
Friendly.
Very friendly. Sure.
What inspired you to start Sevi?
So actually, I'm a software developer, tech guy. We developed some software for microfinance here in Kenya, and in doing so, we found out a lot of stuff in the market. So we saw that actually lots of people use their money for something else than where they get the money from, right? That actually was a bit of an issue. Which we just didn't believe. Everything was like consumer trading. It was a bit of, I don't know, didn't feel too right actually. But then we thought, okay, these businesses, all those people, then we said that people are not servicing here. They want to grow their business, but they cannot. So why not make something, a product which is actually over the products for the business to grow their business and have the money be lost to an order instead of just giving money, which is we spend on school fees someplace else, but not to grow the business, which is, I think, much more healthy than just giving money to people. So we thought, let's build it. So we decided just to make the products and work out from there. Yeah.
That is very nice. How did that grow in you?
So this I think is probably is a few years now, something like that. Yeah.
Yes. Wow. So I am going to ask more about the impact.
So what together, Seed Start Sevi is a product in Kakuma that is for refugees coming from all over. And those refugees, they're struggling even worse than our normal customers around in the country, right? So they have no identification, sometimes some papers, but it's a struggle. There's still called refugee camps, but it's actually cities with a lot of people. We said, okay, let's investigate. If even with your capital and our expertise, let's bring it together and see if we can service these communities as well. And then mainly women. And actually it's going really well until now. So we were ourselves naturally with that there. We like risk, but this is like really big risk, right? But I think together we can take it up and we'll see, we can see the default rates are good enough to actually service those markets, not only Kakuma, but also other refugee camps.
For those that are talking after the program, new into business.
And so I think, as what I mentioned, that we would not take up the risk ourselves, only for you. So I think the impact with them together and targeting women. Women are always our favorite, right? Women are the best. And shop owners and starting business, structure, trust, it works well. The targeting them works. I think Kakuma has talent on more men in general, which start businesses. It's more tough for women, actually. So finding more women to serve is a bit more challenging than normal. Yeah, that part is actually so shift really helped us to make the leap to go into that market and service those communities. Yeah.
Did you leave out?
Yeah, it's far, right? So we have people around there. So actually, otherwise maybe coast would be more difficult. Put more attention there, for example, but it's made us go there. But we're something testing that it loves to they figure out to keep open, right? So, but mainly so even recently, somehow in the company there's still like an idea that people who do not pay back well, they do it with their intention of not paying well. So they will just get limits really high, work with them, and one day they will stop, they just stop trading. And we thought this is why the chunk of the default. But after looking into it more deeply and analyzing everything, we found out actually that's not the case. So people don't default with bad intentions. They really try, they do their best actually to repay their loan, to get a new one, decrease their limit. So you can see in data actually their struggle. So it's much easier to be soft than a law, right? So instead of, okay, with bad intentions may come to us, but that's just a real small percentage. So from learnings, just to see it in a graph, right? So that didn't help to get more insight on our customers and our assumptions, maybe how something is totally different, right? So the same as, so we as a company, we said we do everything with a smile, right? So whatever every department, everyone who's around, even debt collections, we are not guys of good dogs chasing people. And that's improving and working really well, right? For people that want to respect and they want to feel that we're there to support them, to reach actually an impact for them. So yeah, that's on the impact part, right? So the fairs, I think once we started, like even half a year, we had this merchant, this woman called that, and she was So you have this one store doing this the same thing as everyone is doing. But at the half a year, where you get the numbers, and so that's quite something, right? Because this one has a lot of credit and what's going on. So you go with liquid output, what is happening? So in that time, in the period only half a year, you open 5 or other stores, employ people through the credit. It's really, so I live in a tunnel, right? So I just on go, tax, and then you see actually what's going on always. But it was like the first wake up. Okay, wow, we're actually doing something with impact. And of course, you knew somehow, and they're thinking I'm starting down on our impact, which is, actually, I found these numbers always a bit extreme. That 60% are expanding their businesses, which I think is much smaller than any. So 80% would be saving more and all kinds of impact. That we read as a company would be fantastic. But just like an individual case, just go there understanding what happened to their, that actually hit me, right? So, and then it's more concretely. That's why I love what I do. Yeah.
And really, it's really great. Because you see this, let's say, for instance, the 60%, but we're able to improve their confidence that way, just because of having this available like credit. I agree that sometimes just going on the ground and listening to them makes you see beyond the tech. And makes you see the actual impact of the work like you do, and it's super beautiful, especially because already working on suppliers, and then retailers, and then customers, people who often don't necessarily trust each other, and just informal, especially the informal settlements, for instance, like government. So how do you, just speaking more about impact, I've been creating trust, ensuring that there is trust in the kingdom.
So the lack of trust is just like if you are a big supplier, right? So if you deliver your goods to a merchant, normally what happens, you expect them to repay. In a week time or 2 weeks time, they repay you. That is just not happening. So that's the lack of trust, right? So that's actually it happens, but that big chunk is not doing it. They don't pay back, and then you are screwed as a seller also, because you lose customer, right? That is super expensive. So the customer lifetime value is dropping hard. So that's the first thing. So as a seller, if you cannot deliver your goods, if you do the credits, you have this problem. Then if you do not provide credit, that's maybe not the trust issue, but you cannot sell because they don't have the liquidity. These merchants don't have cash to pay your products. So that's where we come in, right? So we built the trust to say to the seller, okay, you don't have to trust this merchant anymore, you don't have to take measures to make sure you get paid, change them, whatever, right? So they're a customer, you want to do something good, and then you change them for money, and this doesn't work. So we said, okay, let us take over that market. So we work also with big sellers. You deliver your goods, you get your money, and we make sure that we work with a smile to these merchants, right? And make sure that they pay or find a way to make sure they can grow their business. So that's how we solve the trust issue between Then you have the fund, people bringing in money. So normally banks would not service those customers, right? They place an order of 2,000 shillings, and they have what they want. That's can't do anything there. Right? There's no part, nothing there that we can do. But because we bundle all of them in one single fund, it's then we see the numbers and with default rate and know exactly what's going on. It's much easier in the bank than to step in and say, okay, this is just like a super big seller, and let me just step in and provide the fund money for it. So it's not an individual anymore, but they group together actually then in our platform to be able to get access to cheap capital, still to the bank in the long run. So now it's our money, but in the long run we believe it will be back. So you have the financial also. There's a trust problem, of course, to the individual merchants, which we solve by bringing them together.
Do you have any other thing you'd like to say?
For the people working. So maybe some lessons just for me as an entrepreneur. I think also in marketing, just to focus always on the problem and not on the product. So as I love products, and so focus on the product always, but actually we should focus on the impact and on the people and on the problem that we actually solve. And that is the lesson with always having distracted by building something beautiful. And the impact and the people and the problem that we solve there is super important and should be always the focus first.
is really beautiful. It's good to build something beautiful, but the focus should actually be on the end users and the people that you're serving.
So,
That reminds me of the question, which is, what is the best advice you've received?
it's on the problem.
Okay. Focus on the problem.
Yeah.
If someone to you, if another person is thinking about applying for the shift program,
Yes.
what would you tell them? Is it
Go for it. Just, especially for challenges which you think might be hard, like outside comfort zone, or you have an ambition to do something with impact, then it makes sense to have other partners. So we are aligned on a goal, right? To bring people to a healthy living standards. Having others doing it on your own as a company, sometimes it's more tough than finding others around you who can have a shared goal. So yeah, that's all about it.
I love that because it aligns so much with one of your 6-7 values out of your comfort zone, actually. Do one thing that scares you every day.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, very good advice. Yes.
but every day you're doing something that's positive things, of course. But anyway, I think we're done.
Thank you.